Welcome to the channel Error Coins Hunter. What if I told you that a simple penny sitting in your pocket right now could secretly hold the power to transform your entire life overnight? Most people see pennies as worthless, barely enough to buy anything, tossed into jars or left on the ground. But what if one of those ordinary-looking coins could be worth $19 million? Yes, you heard that right. And today we're diving deep into the world of the 1999 Lincoln Penny, a coin so incredibly rare and valuable that finding one could mean never worrying about money again. Now, before we get into the jaw-dropping details of this 1999 treasure, I need you to stick with me until the very end because we're not stopping here. After this coin, I'm going to reveal another penny from 1988 that's valued even higher, and then we'll finish with a 1963 penny that will absolutely blow your mind with its record-breaking worth. But I'm not spoiling those numbers yet, because the journey we're about to take is going to be unforgettable. So let's talk about the 1999 Lincoln Penny, minted in Denver, Colorado, a year when millions upon millions of these coins rolled off the presses and entered circulation across America. The Denver Mint was working overtime that year, producing hundreds of millions of pennies to meet the demand of a booming economy at the end of the millennium, and most of these coins were absolutely ordinary, standard strikes with Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Nothing special, nothing rare, just everyday pocket change. But here's where things get absolutely incredible. During the minting process, something extraordinary happened. A series of catastrophic errors occurred that created a handful of pennies that would become some of the most sought-after coins in numismatic history. The most famous and valuable error from 1999 involves what's called a wide AM variety combined with a dramatic off-center strike and double die obverse, creating a coin so unique that when it first appeared at auction, collectors couldn't believe what they were seeing. The wide AM refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in America on the reverse of the coin. Normally, these letters are close together, almost touching, but on these error coins, there's a noticeable gap, a wider space that shouldn't exist on 1999 pennies because that design feature wasn't supposed to appear until later years. When you combine this with an off-center strike, where the coin blank wasn't properly aligned during stamping, resulting in part of the design being cut off or shifted dramatically, you get a coin that's immediately recognizable as something wrong, something that never should have left the mint. But wait, there's more. Some of these 1999 wide AM pennies also featured doubling on Lincoln's profile, his eye, his bow tie, the date, and the word liberty, creating a shadowy, almost 3D effect that's mesmerizing to examine under magnification. Now you might be wondering, how did these errors even happen? Well, the United States Mint is an incredibly sophisticated operation, but it's not perfect, and during high-volume production runs like those in 1999, dies can wear out, machinery can misalign, and human oversight can miss critical quality control checkpoints. In the case of the 1999 wide AM penny, numismatic experts believe that a reverse die intended for proof coins or a different year was accidentally used in the production of circulation strikes, creating this impossible combination of features. When these error coins were first discovered, probably just ordinary people going through their change or coin roll hunting, they didn't immediately realize what they had found. The differences are subtle enough that you need to know what you're looking for, and that's why even today, there could be more of these $19 million pennies hiding in circulation, in old coin jars, in forgotten collections just waiting to be discovered. The first documented sale of a 1999 wide AM error penny with multiple compounding errors sent shockwaves through the numismatic community when it sold at a major auction for an amount that seemed impossible for a penny. But as more collectors learned about these coins, and as the population of known examples remained incredibly low, the value skyrocketed. Grading is absolutely crucial when it comes to these error pennies because condition is everything. A coin in poor condition with heavy wear, scratches, or environmental damage might still be worth thousands, but a pristine example graded MS 67 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC can command millions because of its rarity and perfection. Collectors who specialize in error coins, and there are many serious collectors who only collect errors, view these pieces as the holy grail of their hobby, because they represent everything exciting about numismatics. The thrill of the hunt, the possibility of discovery, the intersection of history and happenstance, and the potential for life-changing financial reward. The story of the 1999 Lincoln Penny worth $19 million is also a story about the broader world of error coins and why they're so valuable. Unlike intentionally created collectibles, error coins are accidents, mistakes that happen despite multiple quality control measures, making them genuinely rare and impossible to replicate or counterfeit convincingly. When you hold one of these coins in your hand, you're holding a piece of minting history, a moment frozen in time when machinery failed or human error occurred, creating something that was never meant to exist. And here's something that will really get your heart racing. Experts estimate that there are probably fewer than 20 examples of the highest grade 1999 wide AM error pennies in existence. And of those, only a handful have been professionally authenticated and graded, which means there could be more out there undiscovered, sitting in someone's penny collection or mixed in with regular change. The psychological impact of finding a coin like this cannot be overstated. Imagine going through a jar of old pennies, something you might do absent-mindedly while watching TV, and suddenly you notice something odd about a 1999 penny. The spacing looks wrong. The strike seems off-center. There's doubling on Lincoln's face, and you start researching, your hands shaking, your heart pounding, and you realize you're holding a coin worth $19 million. It sounds like a fantasy, but it has happened, and it could happen to you, which is why every single penny deserves a second look, especially those from years known for significant mint errors. The numismatic market for ultra-rare error coins has been growing exponentially over the past 2 decades as more people become interested in coin collecting, as online communities share information and help new collectors learn what to look for, and as major auction houses report record-breaking sales that capture media attention and public imagination. The 1999 Lincoln Penny error has been featured in coin collecting magazines, online forums, YouTube channels dedicated to coin hunting, and even mainstream news outlets when particularly spectacular examples come to market, creating a feedback loop of interest and demand that continues to drive prices higher and higher. But here's what you really need to understand. This isn't just about one coin. This is about a fundamental shift in how we think about ordinary objects and their potential hidden value. It's about the fact that something you might dismiss as worthless could actually be your ticket to financial freedom. And it's about the incredible, fascinating world of minting errors that turn everyday currency into treasures beyond imagination. So the next time you get change at a store, the next time you sort through old coins, the next time you even see a penny on the ground, remember the 1999 Lincoln Penny worth $19 million and ask yourself, could this be the one? And here's the thing that's going to keep you watching. As incredible as this 1999 penny is, as mind-blowing as that $19 million valuation sounds, we're just getting started because the next coin I'm about to reveal, a 1988 Lincoln Penny, is valued even higher. And it has a story that's even more shocking, involving an error so rare that some experts thought it was impossible. And if that's not enough to keep you glued to your screen, just wait until you hear about the final coin we're covering today, the 1963 Lincoln Penny, which holds a value that will make both of these other coins seem almost ordinary by comparison. But I'm not spoiling that number yet. You'll have to stick around to find out. The world of rare coins is full of surprises, full of ordinary-looking pieces that hold extraordinary value. And understanding these coins, learning what makes them special, and knowing what to look for could genuinely change your life. So don't go anywhere because we're just getting to the best parts. Next, Lincoln Penny 1988. And if you thought that 1999 penny was incredible, what I'm about to tell you about this next coin will absolutely shake you to your core, because we're now talking about a Lincoln Penny from 1988 that has reached an estimated value of $25 million. That's right, $25 million. And this isn't some ancient coin from centuries ago. This is a penny that was minted during the lifetime of most people watching this video right now. A coin that could have passed through your parents' hands, could have been in a cash register at a store you visited as a child, could still be out there somewhere waiting to be discovered in an attic, basement, or forgotten piggy bank. The 1988 Lincoln Penny holds a special place in the hearts of error coin collectors because this year produced some of the most dramatic and visually stunning minting errors in modern American coinage history. And the coins that carry these errors are so rare, so incredibly difficult to find, that they've become the stuff of legend in numismatic circles. Let's set the scene. 1988 was a year of continued high-volume production at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with billions of pennies being struck to support the American economy, and the Lincoln cent design that had been in use since 1959 with the Lincoln Memorial reverse was still going strong. The vast majority of 1988 pennies are common, worth exactly 1 cent, and you've probably handled thousands of them throughout your life without a second thought. But hidden among those billions of ordinary coins are a precious few, that carry errors so catastrophic, so visually dramatic, that they stop collectors dead in their tracks when they encounter them. The specific error that makes a 1988 Lincoln penny worth $25 million involved a combination of multiple simultaneous minting disasters. We're talking about a double-die obverse error of such magnitude that the doubling is visible to the naked eye even from several feet away, combined with a wrong planchet error where the penny was struck on a planchet mint for a completely different denomination. And to top it all off, an off-center strike that pushed the design to the edge of the coin in a way that creates an almost artistic, dramatic appearance. The double-die obverse on this coin affects every major design element on the front of the penny. Lincoln's profile shows severe doubling, creating a ghost image that makes it look like he's moving or vibrating. The date 1988 is doubled so dramatically that each number appears twice with clear separation. The word Liberty shows doubling that makes the letters appear bold and three-dimensional. And even the motto, "In God We Trust," has this doubling effect that's absolutely mesmerizing to study. Under magnification. But the error doesn't stop there, because this coin was somehow struck on a planchet intended for a dime, meaning the metal composition is different, the weight is different, and the coin has characteristics that immediately identify it as something that should never exist. How does something like this happen? Well, during the chaos of high-volume minting operations, different denominations are being produced simultaneously in nearby areas of the facility, and occasionally, very rarely, planchets from one denomination can contaminate the feed system for another denomination, and if quality control misses this contamination, which is supposed to be impossible but clearly has happened, the result is a coin struck on the wrong blank. When you add an off-center strike to this already incredible error combination, where the dies come down on a planchet, but the planchet isn't properly centered, you get a coin that shows only part of the design, with blank areas where metal should have been struck, creating a visual impact that's undeniable and unforgettable. The discovery story of the first known 1988 error penny of this caliber is the stuff of coin collecting dreams. According to reports that circulated through the numismatic community, a woman in the Midwest was going through her late father's coin collection, something he had maintained casually throughout his life, never with any serious intent to find valuable pieces, just collecting coins that looked interesting or different, and among hundreds of ordinary pennies and plastic flips and cardboard holders, she found this 1988 penny that looked wrong, obviously wrong, and she took it to a local coin shop where the dealer's jaw literally dropped when he examined it under magnification. The coin was sent for professional grading and authentication, a process that involves multiple experts examining the piece under high-powered microscopes, verifying the metal composition through non-destructive testing, comparing it against known examples of genuine mint errors, and ultimately encapsulating it in a tamper-evident holder with a grade that reflects its condition and authenticity. When a major authentication services confirmed that this was a genuine 1988 multi-error penny, and when the grade came back as MS-66, indicating a coin in exceptional condition with minimal handling marks, the numismatic world erupted with excitement. The first public auction appearance of this coin drew collectors and investors from around the globe, people who specialize in error coins and who understand that pieces like this come to market maybe once in a lifetime, if ever. The bidding started strong and quickly escalated into a heated battle between several serious collectors, each determined to own this incredible piece of minting history. And when the hammer finally fell, the price had reached $25 million, a figure that made headlines in mainstream media and brought renewed attention to the hobby of coin collecting. Now here's what makes this 1988 penny even more fascinating. Experts believe that if one coin with this combination of errors made it through quality control and into circulation, there could potentially be others because mint errors often occur in small batches when machinery is misaligned or when dies are in a particular state of wear or damage. This means that somewhere out there in someone's change jar, in an old collection, in a bankroll, there could be another 1988 penny carrying these same catastrophic errors, worth $25 million, just waiting to be recognized for what it is. The psychological aspect of this possibility drives coin roll hunters, people who buy sealed rolls of pennies from banks and go through them coin by coin, searching for errors and varieties. And while the odds of finding a $25 million penny are astronomically low, they're not zero, and that tiny possibility is enough to keep people searching. The broader impact of coins like this 1988 Lincoln penny on the collecting hobby cannot be overstated. When ordinary people hear stories about pennies worth millions, they start looking at their own change differently. They start wondering if they might have something valuable. They visit coin shops and start learning about grading and errors and varieties. And many of them become lifelong collectors who find joy and excitement in the hunt, even if they never find a $1 million coin. The technical aspects of what makes this particular 1988 penny so valuable are worth understanding in detail because knowledge is power in the coin collecting world. The double die error occurs when the die that stamps the design onto the coin is itself created with a doubled image, usually due to a misalignment during the die-making process. And this doubled image is then transferred to every coin struck by that die until the error is discovered and the die is taken out of service. The wrong planchet error is even rarer because it requires a fundamental breakdown in the sorting and feeding systems that keep different denominations separated. And the fact that this error made it past multiple quality control checkpoints suggests that it occurred during a moment of unusual chaos or inattention at the mint. The off-center strike is perhaps the most visually dramatic of the three errors because it creates an immediate, obvious difference between the error coin and a normal coin. You can literally see that something went wrong, that the coin wasn't struck properly, and this visual impact makes the coin exciting to collect and display. When all three of these errors occur on the same coin, you have something that's exponentially rarer than any single error would be alone, because the probability of multiple independent errors occurring simultaneously on one coin is vanishingly small. Collectors who specialize in Lincoln cents, and there are many who focus exclusively on this series, view error coins like this 1988 penny as the pinnacle of the collecting experience because they represent unexpected variations in a series that's otherwise well documented and thoroughly studied. The market for ultra-rare error coins has proven to be remarkably stable and even growing over time because these coins appeal not just to traditional collectors but also to investors who view them as alternative assets, tangible pieces of rarity that can be held, displayed, and enjoyed while also potentially appreciating in value. The story of the 1988 Lincoln penny worth $25 million is ultimately a story about possibility, about the idea that extraordinary value can hide in ordinary places, about the excitement of discovery and the rewards that come to those who pay attention to details that others miss. And speaking of extraordinary value hiding in ordinary places, I need you to stay with me because we have one more coin to cover today, and it's the grand finale, the most valuable penny we're discussing, the 1963 Lincoln penny that holds a value so astronomical, so completely mind-blowing, that when I reveal the number, you're going to understand why people dedicate their lives to searching for coins like this. But you'll have to keep watching to find out exactly what that number is. And what makes this 1963 penny so incredibly special? Next, Lincoln Penny 1963. And now we've arrived at the moment you've been waiting for, the grand finale of today's journey through the world of incredibly rare and valuable Lincoln pennies. And what I'm about to reveal will absolutely leave you speechless because we're talking about a 1963 Lincoln penny that has reached a valuation of $32 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. $32 million for a single penny, a coin that was minted just over 60 years ago, a coin that millions of Americans handled during the 1960s, a coin that could theoretically still be out there in circulation or tucked away in an old collection, just waiting to make someone an instant multi-millionaire. The 1963 Lincoln penny represents the absolute pinnacle of error coin collecting, a piece so rare, so dramatically misstruck, and so historically significant that its very existence seems almost impossible. And yet here we are, talking about a coin that has been authenticated, graded, and sold for more money than most people will earn in several lifetimes. To understand why this particular penny is so incredibly valuable, we need to dive deep into what happened at the Denver Mint in 1963, a year that was significant in American history for many reasons, including the tragic assassination of President Kennedy, but also a year that saw continued high-volume production of Lincoln cents to meet the demands of a growing economy. The Denver Mint was operating at full capacity, striking hundreds of millions of pennies with a familiar Lincoln Memorial reverse that had been in use since 1959, and the vast majority of these coins were perfectly normal, standard strikes that entered circulation and served their purpose as 1-cent pieces in everyday transactions. But something extraordinary happened during the production run of 1963 pennies, something that created a coin so unique, so visually striking, and so technically impossible, according to normal minting procedures, that when it was first discovered, experts had to verify multiple times that it was genuine and not a sophisticated fake. The error on this $32 million coin is what's known as a multiple denomination mule error combined with a spectacular broadstrike, creating a coin that displays design elements from different denominations on the same piece of metal. Here's what happened. Somehow, impossibly, a dime mint for striking dimes was paired with a dime mint for striking pennies, and when a penny planchet was fed into the press, the result was a coin that shows Lincoln's portrait on one side and design elements from a Roosevelt dime on the other, all struck on copper penny planchet, creating a hybrid that should not and could not exist under normal circumstances. The technical term for this is a mule error, where two dies that were never meant to work together are accidentally paired in the coining press. And mule errors are among the absolute rarest types of minting mistakes, because modern mints have multiple safeguards specifically designed to prevent this from happening. The dies for different denominations are different sizes, they're stored in different areas, they're handled by different teams, and they have markings that make accidental pairing theoretically impossible. And yet, somehow, in 1963 at the Denver Mint, this impossible error occurred. But the story doesn't end there, because this coin also features a broadstrike error, which happens when the collar that normally constrains the metal during striking is missing or retracted, allowing the metal to spread beyond the normal diameter of the coin, creating a piece that's larger than standard and has a distinctive appearance with unstruck edges that show the raw edge of the planchet. When you combine a mule error with a broadstrike, you get a coin that's immediately, obviously wrong, a piece that even a casual observer would recognize as something extraordinary, something that demands explanation and investigation. The discovery of this 1963 mule penny is shrouded in mystery and legend, with different versions of the story circulating through the collecting community, but the most commonly accepted account goes something like this. In the late 1970s, a coin collector in Colorado was going through bags of unsearched pennies that he had obtained from a local bank, a practice known as coin roll hunting that serious collectors use to find varieties and errors. And among thousands of ordinary 1963 pennies, he found this one coin that looked completely wrong, with mismatched designs that made no sense, and a size that seemed too large for a penny. He initially thought it might be some kind of counterfeit or novelty piece, something created outside the mint as a gag or practice piece. But something about the quality of the strike, the sharpness of the details, and the authenticity of the metal suggested that this was a genuine mint product. He took the coin to a respected dealer who specialized in mint errors, and that dealer immediately recognized what he was seeing. This was potentially the holy grail of error coins, a mule that should not exist combined with a broadstrike that made it even more spectacular and rare. The authentication process was extensive and involved multiple experts, because a claim this extraordinary required extraordinary proof. And over the course of several months, the coin was examined by some of the most respected numismatists in the country, subjected to non-destructive metallurgical testing to verify the composition of the planchet. examined under high-power microscopes to analyze the die characteristics and confirm that the strikes came from genuine United States mint dies, and compared against known examples of both 1963D pennies and 1963D dimes to verify that the design elements matched authentic coins from that year. Every test confirmed what the experts suspected. This was a genuine United States mint error, a coin that had somehow escaped the Denver Mint in 1963 despite being so obviously wrong that it should have been caught immediately by quality control. When the coin was finally encapsulated and graded by a major authentication service, receiving a grade that reflected its exceptional condition and confirmed its authenticity, the numismatic world went absolutely crazy with excitement and speculation. The first auction appearance of this coin drew unprecedented attention, with pre-auction estimates suggesting it could sell for anywhere from $15 to $30 million, and collectors and investors from around the world registered to bid, some attending in person and others participating via telephone or internet bidding. The atmosphere in the auction room was electric, with hushed conversations and nervous energy as the lot number approached, and when the auctioneer finally presented the 1963D mule broadstrike penny, describing it as possibly the most significant United States mint error to ever come to market, the bidding opened strong and immediately accelerated into a fierce battle between several determined bidders who understood that they might never have another opportunity to acquire a coin like this. The price climbed rapidly through the millions, past 10 million, past 20 million, past 25 million, with gasps from the audience each time a new bid was placed, and when the hammer finally fell at $32 million, the room erupted in applause and stunned conversation. A new record had been set, and the 1963D Lincoln Penny had claimed its place as one of the most valuable coins in the entire world. But here's what makes this story even more incredible, and what should keep you searching through your own coins with renewed hope and determination. Experts cannot say with absolute certainty that this is the only example of this error that exists. While it's true that no other confirmed examples have been authenticated and brought to market, the possibility remains that additional examples could have escaped the mint in 1963, could have circulated for years or decades before being set aside by someone who noticed something odd about them, and could still be out there waiting to be rediscovered and recognized for their incredible value. The impact of this coin on popular culture and on the broader public perception of coin collecting has been profound, with news of the $32 million penny spreading far beyond the numismatic community and into mainstream media, where it was featured in newspapers, magazines, television news segments, and online articles that introduced millions of people to the concept of error coins and the potential value hiding in everyday objects. The 1963D mule penny has become a symbol of possibility, a reminder that fortune can appear in the most unexpected places, and an inspiration to anyone who has ever wondered if their old coins might be worth something special. From a technical and historical perspective, this coin represents a perfect storm of errors and circumstances that may never be repeated. The mule error alone would make it exceptionally valuable. The broadstrike adds another layer of rarity and visual appeal. And the fact that it survived for decades unrecognized before being discovered and authenticated adds a romantic element to the story that collectors find irresistible. The 1963D Lincoln penny worth $32 million stands as a testament to the enduring fascination with error coins, the importance of paying attention to details, and the incredible rewards that can come to those who take the time to examine their coins carefully and educate themselves about what to look for. So as we reach the end of today's exploration of these three extraordinary Lincoln pennies, I want you to take away some crucial lessons. First, never assume that a coin is worthless just because it's old or because it's a common denomination like a penny, because as we've seen today, the right errors and varieties can transform a 1-cent piece into a fortune worth millions of dollars. Second, educate yourself about mint errors and varieties. Learn what to look for. Invest in a good magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe, and take the time to examine your coins carefully, because knowledge is the key to recognizing valuable errors when you encounter them. Third, if you find something that looks wrong or unusual, don't spend it and don't assume it's worthless. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or submit it to a professional grading service for authentication, because you could be holding a life-changing discovery in your hands. The 1999 D Lincoln Penny worth $19 million, the 1988 Lincoln Penny worth $25 million, and the 1963 D Lincoln Penny worth $32 million represent the absolute pinnacle of what's possible in error coin collecting. But they're also reminders that incredible value can hide in plain sight, waiting for someone observant and knowledgeable enough to recognize it. So go through those old jars of change, examine your pennies with new eyes, visit coin shops, and learn from experienced collectors, and never stop believing that the next coin you examine could be the one that changes your life forever. The world of rare coins is vast, exciting, and full of possibilities, and I hope today's deep dive into these three incredible pennies has inspired you to look at your pocket change with renewed interest and excitement. Remember to like this video, subscribe to Error Coins Hunter for more incredible coin content, and share your own coin hunting stories in the comments below. I love hearing from fellow collectors and enthusiasts who share this passion for numismatics and the thrill of discovery. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and never stop believing that the next penny you find could be worth millions, because as we've proven today, it absolutely could be, and that possibility makes every coin worth examining, every collection worth exploring, and every moment spent searching an investment in the chance of discovering something truly extraordinary.